absolutely free and enjoy more of what the world has to offer in this action one, because this is where most human beings screw the pooch.
So a little one-person trampoline, very
I screen shared it. Like, there's no excuse. Like, phone numbers are just out there. You just got to pick up the phone, smile, and dial. So. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk Taryn Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best version of yourself, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Good morning, everyone. It is bright and early, 8 a.m. Monday morning. The dreaded Mondays have come. We have responsibility yet again as the weekend has passed. And for a lot of entrepreneurs, we actually work through the weekends. I know a handful of my clients, they actually do most of their business on the weekends. And maybe it's just me, but sometimes when my sleep schedule gets a little bit off, I'm staying up a little bit later. Then the next day, I'm trying to force myself to get up a little earlier. When we don't go to bed consistently, we don't wake up consistently at the same time, it's usually not a surprise that we're a little bit groggy and we're a little bit tired. We're going to be talking about fast wins, short-term goals this morning. So if you've been having a hard time, you have a big goal in the future, you have your dream house planned out, you have the big business that you absolutely want, you have the van to travel across the country, you have that dream body set up into the future, long-term goals, multiple years out, and you're having a bit of a hard time making sure that we're staying motivated along the way, because we have to be good at anything. You have to do it for a very long time. We have to do it for years, but that can be really deterring. And so I believe I've really changed my life with short-term goals, and I think it can make the journey that much more enjoyable, which is the whole point of life and what we're trying to work on and what we're trying to do. So this Monday morning, I'm going to go over a few of my own personal goals that I have coming for this week. Additionally, I'm going to talk about the importance and the strategies of how to create short-term goals. And we're thinking more in the terms of 1 week. We're going to be getting straight to the chalkboard today. I haven't been writing on there very much lately. So we're going to use that more as our friend. We're going to use the chalkboard this morning. Good morning to you all. And let's go ahead and we can start with, we can erase this. This is the Talk Tanner Morning Show, episode 303. 303, they're flying by, folks. We're having a good old time learning, but today's focus will be called fast wins. Fast wins. So fast wins are essentially short-term goals, and there's lots of proven studies. People who get that first emotional win, say if you're working towards a goal, you're working towards weight loss, and you lose the 10 pounds in the first month, that would be considered a fast win. And those emotional fast wins, you can see in clients, I can see in myself, I can see in just a lot of people I get to interact with. When these fast wins come into play, you achieve your short-term goals. I should also write down over here short-term goals. When we achieve our short-term goals, we're exponentially more likely to continue on working on what it is we want to do. So again, today's talk is about short-term goals. Short-term goals. It's like, okay, Tanner, that's great. How do I make short-term goals? How do I create them? How do I work? I'm so glad that you asked. I think the first key marker that needs to be present is being specific. Be specific as possible, really. Be as specific as possible. The shorter the goal, say if we're really working on that the short-term goal, then we want to be specific. Be specific. What would be an example of one of our goals? It'd be to create tutorial videos for week 1 of my new course. I'm creating this new course. I'm going to be selling it through a software called Kajabi, and look up Kajabi if you want to make your own course. That one's a really good one to use. But I need to make the tutorial videos for the homework assignments and for the exercises to walk through them so people have a better idea. I usually give a lot of examples in those because my specific short-term goals are going to be different than yours, and the examples usually help and give more context and this and that. So we got to record those for this week. So specific, short-term goal that is specific would be creating the video tutorials for week 1. And that feeds right into the next one, is make them realistic. Make them realistic. So I'm trying to write in print, so it's a little easier to read, and I'm left-handed, so writing print, my right hand's a little tougher than cursive, so bear with me. So if this handwriting's a little sloppy, it says, make them realistic. I have these banners literally right here that I can just put these out. So make the goals realistic. And that's why I didn't say, I see this all the time. People want to explode. Once we get into the goal setting metric, then we want to start setting our short-term goals, which are really our long-term goals, and people overdo it. We don't need to. All we need to do to achieve massive amounts of success is if I continue to chip away consistently for a long period of time. There's nothing that can't say I can sprint for a little bit and make something a little bit tougher, a little bit harder to get. But I think making realistic goals, especially when I am at 0, there's certain things like writing that I struggle with. There's certain things with practicing instruments that I struggle with. There's certain things with just taking action on making sales calls that I struggle with. And if I'm struggling with these things, I don't think the best move is to go 1 million miles an hour or 100 miles an hour and then just catapult myself straight up there or think I'm going to actually do that. That's why when a lot of people I've been able to have the privilege of working with, working out usually is a problem. They're working too much, not working out enough. And they're like, well, I'll just work out 6 times a week. It's like, let's start with 1 day a week and then get used to it. Learn to enjoy it. Learn to embody it. And same thing for tutorial videos. I haven't made a ton of tutorial videos in my life. And so I'm not going to just jump in and tell myself, I'm going to make 100 videos on these tutorials. I think tutorials are a little different than this style. So I'm going to start small. I'm going to get my first weeks done. And then the next week, I'm going to do the next week's for the course. And then the following. So I'm making my goals a little bit more realistic. And I don't believe that's capping yourself. If you want to do more, do more. But just the most important thing, the hardest part is always getting started. So making the goals realistic, make them realistic. The next part up would be set a deadline. Set a deadline. Set a deadline. Deadline for me, for my goals this week. Additionally, another one of the goals will be to help, by the end of this week, I want to help renovating one of these office areas. So my mom owns this property, and we're renovating this room, and we're trying to turn it into an office, textured ceilings, painting the walls, redoing the floors, and that kind of stuff, and want to get it done by the end of the next week. So I can start doing recording some videos in there when I go over there and help out with my grandpa and this and that. So if I can go over there and just make this office space out, and then we can do the tutorial videos, you can see how some of my goals are weeding into each other. And we're setting the deadline for the end of the week because this helps with forcing myself to take some action. Forcing myself to work on something before I give myself a reward, which we'll get down here in a little bit. The next one is break them down. Break them down. So with the property example, we're renovating out a part of the property, and we want to start with the ceiling. Boom. Then it's the walls. Then it's the floor. You can see how chunking this out can make it less overwhelming. So on to our point, we're going to break them down. It's like breaking my brain trying to write in print again and this and that. It's so funny how that becomes actually really difficult. Okay, next up is prioritize. We want to prioritize. I think it's so easy when it comes to our list of goals that what were the other 3 goals that I had written down for myself? There is the tutorial goal and working on the coaching company, working on the course that we're going to sell to entrepreneurs, that we're going to help business owners with so they can unlock their full potential. By doing this, I think it really helps to prioritize what do I got going on in the week? Making sure that I take 1 action step, 2 action steps towards my coaching goals before I go work out, before I go lift weights. I think lifting weights is crucial to health, but I am going to do that regardless. There's certain things that you are going to do no matter what. There's certain things that are healthy for you that you're just talented at and you're going to get it done. Some of us like to read. Some of us like to work out. Some of us like to get up early in the morning. Whatever your thing is that you're good at, I usually like to place that behind and anchor that with what I really need to get done for the week. What are the short-term goals that I'm going to trip up? What is it that you haven't been doing that you want to be doing that you need to reshuffle and reprioritize what you have got going on? So priority. What is the priority? Making sure that we know which priority is for us. The next one is write them down. Go figure, write them down. All right, I'm running out of room. I'm going to head over here a little bit for number 6, and that would be write them down. Okay, I need a new piece of chalk also. Write them down. That's in cursive. Hopefully you guys can still read that. Number 6, write them down. When it comes to goals, we can put ourselves in the top 3% just by writing them out. Just by writing your goals out. What are your goals for this week? Maybe you just write them on a piece of paper. What are the short-term goals? They can be done in a week. We're focusing on short-term goals because this talk is all about fast wins. Emphasis on fast wins because fast wins give us emotional pull towards doing what it is that we want to be doing and how we can set it up. So short-term goals, fast wins, we want to write them down. Maybe you did it Sunday. Good job. That's when I usually like to do it is Friday when I'm making content or I'm writing out some goals, and then I'm checking back in on this stuff on Sunday. That's my rhythm. That's what's been working well for me, so I highly recommend that. Set my goals on Friday, review them on Sunday, Saturday. I just do what I want to do. I'm not too hung up on about it. I'll work on some projects. I'll read some books. I'll go work in the yard. I'm not too crazy about it on Saturdays. But that's how I operate, and that's what I like to do. So you got to figure out what works for you. Short-term goals, fast wins, write them down. Write down. Don't have any more than 3. Absolutely no need. And then that brings us to our last point for today. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone's having a great morning this morning. So our last one is celebrate milestones. Milestones, fast wins. Milestones. Milestones. What is the milestone? What is the reward? I think would be a better way to put it. What is the reward that we are going to receive? What is the reward? The reward I'm going to receive is another office space that I can use for, I love my home office quite a bit. I also do some side work over there at another property, so it's going to be nice having multiple offices available. That's going to be part of the reward. Even bigger piece of the reward will be, I have some friends visiting out of state the following weekend. We're going to hang out. We're going to go to the Petunia Festival that's here. We're going to have a great time. And I'm going to work really hard, really work on, I'm not going to drink any alcohol throughout the week. I'm not going to distract myself. We're just going to work hard. We're going to work through the week. We're going to get the things that we want to. We're going to achieve our short-term goals. We're going to hit our workouts for the week. We're going to hit our tutorial videos for the week. We're going to make our outreaches for the company. We're going to hit our short-term goals. And then we're going to give ourselves permission. Okay, I think I'm good to wrap up. Kind of come back over here. We're going to give ourselves permission to enjoy ourselves over the weekend. I think it's so incredible that when it comes to long-term goals, it's very easy to just suffer the whole way through it until you get to the end. And then you realize that's not even what life's about. You're like, oh, shit. But if we can create more short-term goals and create more fast wins, I think we can have the emotional pull and we can really reduce how often we quit on certain things. And quitting is technically the only way you fail. If you just keep going and keep trying different stuff, try and try again, as they say. I'm not sure who that's from, but either way, if we can get those emotional investments, we can get those emotional wins, the fast wins along the way, and we know how to section this out and chunk this out in a beautiful way to set short-term goals for the week. Monday morning, let's get some short-term goals down. What do you want to achieve this week? What would make this week great? That's a powerful question. I think we should add as a banner as we wrap up here. What would make this week great? If you can answer this question, I think you can answer what short-term goals you really want to focus on, you really want to do. Maybe for you, it is just getting 3 solid workouts in, push, pull, legs, or doing some type of 2 workouts in and they're both full body. Whatever it is for you, what would make this week great? Would it be getting something done with the company? Would it be organizing something in your business? Would it be reaching out to some potential clients? Would it be letting go of some clients? Would it be gaining some clients? Would it be reading that book on something that you've been wanting to learn about for a long time? Maybe you'd be looking for classes or some type of education that you want to embody. Maybe it's just looking up recipes to eat healthier food so you can have the body of your dreams. Whatever it would be, this is a question that you can always refer to and you can always ask, what would make this week great? You answer the question and then you go ahead and then you write out some short-term goals and then use these parameters. Sorry, it's always backwards for me. Be specific, make them realistic, set a deadline, break them down. What are your priorities? Prioritize them, write them down, and then just have rewards and milestones. Like, what is the reward? What is the milestone to know that you got there? If you can incorporate this into getting fast wins, emotional wins, and achieving short-term goals, I think we can be on the fast track to achieving our long-term goals, reaching success, and helping millions of people do the same. So cheers to that. Cheers to personal development. Cheers to episode 303, episode 303 of the Chalk to Terror Morning Show. I can't wait to do another one tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you know anyone who needs a coach to help them on their personal or professional journey, to achieve their goals, to prioritize their life, and create a real plan for success, you have them talk to Tanner. let's set this up. If you know someone looking for a coach, I'm here. I'm ready. We're taking on more clients here. We're trying to grow and expand ourselves. So if you know anyone who wants to put together that one-page life plan, I'm here for you. Also, just if this content was meaningful to you, if it was helpful to you, if it started your day right, gave you some momentum to get rocking and rolling, please make sure to like, comment an emoji, and share this content so we can get it out to the world and help other people do the same. Cheers, friends. That's all I have for today. And we're wrapping up. And this was episode 303, setting short-term goals, getting fast wins, getting the emotional wins that we need in order to achieve and stay consistent for the long term, baby, because we got a lot to do. We got a lot of people to help. We got ourselves to help. And in case you needed to hear it today, I love you. You're a badass. You got this. Let's crush the goals this week, and let's have a great one. And I'll be excited to be right alongside with you here tomorrow again. So I'll be back here bright and early, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, all throughout the week, Monday through Friday, for the Talk Tanner Morning Show. You guys all have a fantastic, incredible week yourselves. Can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Let's get some fast wins. I'm out. Until next time, peace, friends.